Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This week for my Game of Thrones bonus video, I'm going to talk about grumpy old men hating Game of Thrones, starting with Stannis. I'll say right off the bat, Stephen Delane is an amazing actor, but the number of grumpy old men complaining about how they don't understand Game of Thrones and they don't understand why everyone is so crazy about it has risen 200% in the last couple of months. It's crazy. I cannot wait till Game of Thrones ends its run so we can hear what all of the actors want to think about it. The problem with that is that most young actors are still looking for work, and if they get paid a lot of money by HBO, they don't want to burn that bridge. People like Stephen Delane, Ian McShane, they're really old, they have tons of money, it's not like they have to keep working, so it's a lot easier for them to just speak their mind, grumpy old men style. So let's talk about Stannis Baratheon. Just careful for spoilers for everything that's happened on the show so far. I'm going to explain a little bit about what he said, what the actor said in real life, and what that means for the show compared to the books. And there is a new round of the DVD giveaway. It's a copy of the Season 5 DVD. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. I'll explain a little bit more at the end of the video. So here we go. Stannis Baratheon. What the hell just happened? Well, Stephen Delane did his Ian McShane style interview where he just spoke his mind about the show. Just to paraphrase, he said things like, I didn't understand the show when I was on it, I don't understand why it's so popular, I didn't really even enjoy it that much, I just liked the money. Things like he did it just because it was another job. Like a lot of old school actors, there are a lot of older actors that are from an era where, studio contracts used to be a bigger thing, and they would just do the next job. They wouldn't pursue as many passion projects. This is a job, I earn money to support my family, I'm gonna go work the next job after this job is done. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People have to earn money to support their families. But it's just funny because everyone is so hype about Game of Thrones. There will probably be an actual cult surrounding the material, the books and the show, before it's all over. And then in the back of your mind, you kind of wonder what's going on behind the scenes when stuff like this happens, where like the producers and HBO's eyes collectively roll into the backs of their heads like, oh Jesus, here we go. But in a practical sense, his comments are really like the straw that broke the camel's back in proving that Stannis really did die. He was killed by Brienne. Now in the books, he's still alive. He's preparing for an assault on Winterfell, just like he did on the TV show. They just sped that storyline up on the TV show. And it might not necessarily go down the same way in the books. George R. Martin tweaks things as he goes along. If you do really love the Stannis character and you want him to still be alive, he is still alive in the books. So don't worry, when Winds of Winter gets here, you get all the Stannis you want. On the TV show, now that he's dead, there's a few questions. One, what happens to his meager holdings like Storm's End? Like what happens to the things that are left to House Baratheon? He was in super debt to the Iron Bank. And then two, what is going to happen with Winterfell? Because Stannis was trying to get rid of the Boltons. Well, the Season 6 trailer kind of addresses that second question, but the first one is actually a pretty interesting one. A lot of you have asked me, now that Stannis is dead, all his children are dead, what happens to Storm's End? Well, one, let's just assume that the Iron Bank doesn't try to seize it as collateral for the loans that it gave to Stannis. Let's just assume that they call that a wash and they're going to back Daenerys because they feel like she will win the throne and then she will repay all the money that they are owed. Right off the bat, that unless it's proven in a court of law that Tommen is not Robert's son, Tommen would officially inherit Storm's End. So until further notice, it's officially in the hands of the Lannisters. But there are a couple other legit candidates, including Gendry. Technically, if Gendry were to show up at King's Landing and say, I am Robert's heir, and he could prove it, then he could inherit Storm's End. Cersei would probably have his head chopped off before he had a chance to get a word out, because technically he is a more legitimate heir to the Iron Throne than Tommen, because Tommen has 0 Baratheon blood. So the minute Gendry surfaces, he's dead. So he's not going to inherit Storm's End as long as the TV show keeps him in that rowboat or keeps Cersei in the Red Keep, which I think is going to be through the duration of Season 6. Moving down the list, there are a couple more choices. One is through Stannis' uncle, Lord Estermont, who's only in the books. He's not on the TV show as far as we know. You could also say that Aaron Florent of House Florent has a legit claim because he's the brother of Stannis' wife, but he is a book-only character. And the other is actually a TV show character. Daenerys is the next legitimate heir to Storm's End, unless you just want to assume R plus L equals J. Jon Snow's a Targaryen. He has a blood link to House Baratheon. Daenerys is just a little more legit because she, in that scenario, would be Jon's aunt. Remember, Rhaegar was Daenerys' older brother. Jon Snow would be Rhaegar's son, so she is his aunt. So if a Targaryen were to inherit Storm's End, Daenerys would do it before Jon Snow. But I don't think either of them would inherit it on the TV show because Tommen is still king, Cersei still considers herself queen, or at least ruling as queen regent with the help of Zombie Mountain. there is no way that she would hand Storm's End to one of her enemies if she had the chance. So what'll probably happen on the TV show is they'll just keep it in the hands of the Lannisters, and long shot, Cersei might use it as a reward for something, like, do this for me and I will give you Storm's End. So if she wanted, via Tommen, she could just dangle it in front of anyone she wanted to get a giant favor from. But I just think it's so cool that House Targaryen has been so intertwined with House Baratheon across the years. Orys Baratheon, first of House Baratheon, was best friends with Aegon the Conqueror. So, things change over time. They become mortal enemies. Robert Baratheon kills Rhaegar Targaryen. You get the idea. Alliances change across the years. But there are a number of people who actually have legitimate claims to Storm's End, considering that Tommen does not have a legit claim. Let me know in the comments, though, what do you think is going to happen with Storm's End on the TV show, and what do you think is going to happen with it in the books? Don't worry if you haven't read the books. There are just a lot more characters in the books than there are in the TV show. What's going to happen next is there's a new Walking Dead video that I'm going to post tonight. There should be some new Game of Thrones promotional material, either a new teaser or just like something interesting from HBO around season 6 in the next week or so. If they do drop something, I'll totally make a video for it. What's going to happen with the giveaway is because I don't know if there's going to be a new teaser or something in the next couple of days, I'll announce the winner in the next Game of Thrones video that I post. While you guys wait for my next video, you can click here to watch the Red Band trailer again, and you can click here to watch the behind the scenes teaser, which is actually just as interesting as the Red Band trailer. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.